What's up guys, TC here, and welcome back to Starbound Custom Creations. And today I've got 6 more custom weapons for us to look at, and today's batch is another doozy like the last batch we had. It's kind of a bunch of weapons that are much more unique than a lot of my older weapons. That's kind of been a big focus lately for me, so I wanted to show off a couple more that I had in the bin that I haven't shown off. So with that being said, we're going to jump in. The first one I have today is called the Binary Cannon. So this is a gun, as you can see, it has 2 barrels on it. And it's pretty unique in that it basically, this gun is more or less useless unless you hit them with both shots from each barrel. So you'll see, like, if we spawn in a pop top here, you'll see if we hit them with the primary fire, it just does 41 damage. If you hit them with a secondary fire, it doesn't do any damage at all, right? But if we tag them with the little charge effect and then we shoot them with the primary, they explode. Does a ton of damage. So it's kind of like the idea is that you have to hit them with both of these, and what's essentially happening is it's using that doomed status, and more or less when you shoot a target, it will tag them, and it tags them for 1 second. As long as they're red, they'll take extra damage, and you have 1 second to basically finish them off with the primary fire. You can shoot them without tagging them, but it's not going to do a lot of damage, and it doesn't exactly have a high fire rate, so it's important that you kind of take advantage of the extremely boosted damage you get off of the targeting status. So it's definitely one of those, I wanted to make it kind of like a high skill thing, because it can definitely be really hard, especially on kind of like flying enemies that are kind of hard to hit, because they can, I don't know, it's kind of hard to do a follow-up shot. Like if you're even like a millisecond off that 1 second timer, you get nothing. That's so funny. I just got a rare drop from that. Anyways, so like I was saying, it's a fun little unique weapon that definitely has a really unique function to it. And it's kind of taught me something else, so I want to start kind of incorporating it into my other weapons. You'll notice some of my weapons tend to be like two-toned. Like, so this one here was originally just turquoise and red. I'm going to start trying to incorporate like multiple color schemes, not just like 2 colors like that. So kind of like this one's red and kind of turquoise, and it's got like a baseline kind of silver to it. I'm going to start trying to incorporate that because I noticed the weapons look a little bit cooler. But anyways, moving on from that, I have got a melee weapon. I showed this one off a while ago on Reddit, and it's essentially a helicopter blade that you can carry around. And it's fully animated. It is without a doubt my favorite melee weapon I've ever made. It's super cool. Like, it just looks cool. It's got like idle animation effects to it, like sound effects. Like you can hear it spinning, kind of. You might can hear it. I don't know if I have the volume up enough. But it's really cool because you use it just like you would think. You can swing it. You can keep it held out to repel enemies, and the best thing is you can fly with it. So that'll let you fly, and it automatically drops little grenades out of the bottom of it. And there's not really, I mean, there is technically a timer on it. Like, it does use energy, just not a lot. And you can fly pretty far with this thing, and it keeps on popping little grenades out like that. We've been flying this whole time. We haven't gotten halfway yet. There we go. So now we're at halfway. It's definitely a cool little tool, and it's not crazy OP, but it kind of can be. Like, the whole spear ability is super OP if you kind of think about it. You can just kind of pop it out, and nothing can really get to you. So I had to kind of tone it down because it's really easy to just like fuck everything up with this thing. It does do a little extra damage on the initial swing, but then if you just hold it out, it just does a little bit less damage. So yeah, it's super fun, and the whole hitbox is exactly where you would think it be, like think it would be on the blade. So it's kind of, I spent a lot of time trying to make this thing as like accurate and true to how it looks as possible. The secondary is also pretty strong considering what it is. It's pretty fun. You can just drop bombs on stuff all day, and you can kind of cover like big spans of space that you can't normally get over, like lava or something like that. So moving on from that, I've got one, I think I just showed it off on Reddit today, is the Manticore. So this is one of my exotic weapons. I'll kind of jump back to that in a second. But this one's pretty cool because basically the premise of this weapon is that it's a sniper cannon, but the damage that it does increases the further you shoot the enemy. So like, you'll see up close here, this won't do a lot of damage. 99 damage, and it kills them on the second one. But if you see we shoot one out here, kills it in one shot, and that damage will keep going up the further you are away. So even if you zoom all the way out, like max zoom or whatever on the game, you can get some really high damage shots, and it can be super powerful. But again, that kind of highlights the nature of it. It's a sniper cannon. Now the downside of this is that it does incredibly pathetic damage up close. Look, I did 3. 3 whole damage. 3, 35. It does go up considerably as you get further away. I didn't want to make it just completely useless, so you have to kind of put a little bit of space, but I wanted it to be, like, if I made it where it's just, like, crazy strong at all ranges, it's kind of like a super weapon. So, yeah, super fun and kind of offers a really unique style of play. Definitely not, I don't think it would be super useful to play one of these maps, like, by yourself with this, because there's a lot of situations where you need to have a weapon that can handle close quarter stuff, but if you and your friend took on roles and maybe you had the sniper cannon, he had, like, a shotgun, you could definitely, you know, you handle long-range enemies, and the thing is, you'd be, like, one-shotting almost everything if you did it right. And, oh yeah, the secondary is a toned down. It doesn't do increased damage at range, so you'll see the pop top here. It does 47 there, and you're going to see it's going to do 47 here. It doesn't really matter what range they're at, but the unique feature about this is that it shoots through terrain, so you'll see it can just shoot right through anything. Nothing's going to block it. So I had to give it like reduced damage because it's kind of super powerful if you can shoot through anything without any kind of like, you know, you can't really hide from it. So I thought that was kind of a cool secondary for a sniper cannon, is like a, you know, phasing type projectile that can go through anything. So moving on from that, we have another one. This one's not quite as flashy as the others. It's just something kind of fun. I had an idea I wanted to do, and I finally got it functioning how I wanted it to. And this is kind of like a Neo Musket type weapon. So you guys might remember my old, what is it? My blunderbuss. So you shoot it, it's got the reload animation where he puts the thing in the barrel. So I did the same thing with the musket. Pops the thing in the barrel. So it's very functionally the same as that, but it has a, it's basically a sniper version. It's got a bouncing bullet that can penetrate through multiple enemies. And I gave it like a functional bayonet underneath. So we'll pop a pop top down here. So it's kind of fun. I like that it's more of like an actual true melee. I know a lot of there's an ability in the game called it's like elemental spike or something like that. It's elemental lance, and it shoots like a laser lance under it. But that's like just, I don't know. It's just like a projectile basically that gets killed super quick. This one looks much cooler the way it is. It's like an actual jab. So yeah, kind of a fun little weapon. I kind of like the idea of taking like really old weapons like blunderbuss and like a musket and remaking them like a new, like a Neo, like futuristic take on the thing. So I understand it doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's kind of a cool thing from like a weapon making perspective. So moving on from that, I've got an older one I showed off on Reddit a while back, but I don't think I showed anyone else. So this thing is a huge shoulder-mounted cannon. It's called the Gustav artillery cannon, and you'll see that you can't aim it, or at least not right now, you can't aim it up and down. So you'll see when you fire, it shoots this huge explosion, blows up here, leaves fire in the ground and stuff. But what's cool is if you hold right click, it allows you to adjust the aim. So now we'll shoot much further here. And you can kind of basically, like, you can adjust your trajectory to shoot this thing a lot further. So you see that one went all the way off screen. So it's very like unique in the way that it like the aiming is. It's like a lot more tricky. But it's definitely very, very powerful. It shoots, it's incredibly strong. Like, this thing is going to one-shot anything I can throw at it, I think. Let's hope. Yep, there you go. And then it does leave the fire on the ground, which will mess up everything as well. It's just kind of, it takes a bit of a learning curve to it, because you got to kind of adapt to being able to, you have to basically hold down right click if you want to aim at any, and then you have to switch to your right click to fire it. And that can be a little bit tricky, but it's a really unique mechanic. And like I said, I wanted to make all these weapons really, really unique in the way they look, in the way they behave. And so that's kind of like what the focus of my weapons lately has been, like really, really unique weapons. Now, this last one here is the Hive Swarm Pack. So this is a one-handed thing. It fits on your back. And it basically swarms or it calls in a swarm of bees. And they'll follow you around, and you can switch to other weapons, and yeah, they'll protect you and stuff like that while you're out doing stuff. They will mess up enemies. Let's see. I'll see there, they are getting messed up by these bees. They're not super strong, but it's just a nice little passive bonus because you can switch to another weapon while they're active. And you can spawn a lot of them in. There's not really a limit, I guess, unless you consider your FPS a limit. So, yeah, it can be super strong and a really great, like, kind of passive defense to targets that are getting too close to you. And like I said, it is dual wieldable, so you can put another weapon with it, or you could, like, spawn a bunch in and switch to another weapon. So, it's definitely fun. And with that, that's all the weapons I had to show off today. I wanted to show you kind of a little bit of a change I've been making. So I know I have a bunch of weapons in here that you guys are going to probably spend a ton of time buying, but I wanted to make some more, I don't know, basically like trophy type weapons that you could buy, and that's what these weapons are going to be. So this one says special weapon, but it's going to end up saying exotic weapon, like this one does. And these exotic weapons are going to be considerably more expensive, and they're going to be like trophy weapons that the player can buy. And obviously, you know, if you don't feel like going through all the hassle of, you know, mustering up the pixels to buy it, you could just hop into admin mode and get all of them you want. But for more of like, I know a lot of people are going to want to like work their way through and unlock all of these. These are more expensive weapons. They're 2 or 3 times more expensive than most weapons, so you'll have to spend a little bit more money to get all of them. And there's going to be quite a lot. I've already got, I think, 7. I've got a couple that I'm still working on that aren't completed. But you'll see things like this one. The binary cannon is in there. The gyro blade is in there. The Manticore is in there. And yeah, so they're really fun, and that's kind of a new idea I've been working on. I've still got some random bugs I have to get fixed. I've got a couple of these vendors that aren't working properly that I've got to get debugged. So that's almost finished. In the meantime, I was hoping to get some comments from you guys. Let me know what you think as far as like making some really unique looking weapons, or not unique looking, but unique functioning weapons. That's kind of been my big focus lately, is making weapons that don't, you know, it's not just a regular gun. Like, it's got to have something really unique about it that makes it fun to use, unique to use, and that it has like a unique play style. So if you guys have any ideas for things like that, post it in the comments below. I'd really like to hear your input, because I get a lot of my inspiration from you know, the community, and I think you guys have some really cool ideas. I've gotten a lot of my ideas in the past from you guys. I know this gyro blade was someone on Reddit a long time ago posted about how cool it'd be to have like a helicopter, and like you could like drive it into stuff, and I was like, I wonder if I could make a weapon into that. And you know, a couple months later, this thing emerged. So anyways, you guys let me know what you think, and if you enjoyed this video, please rate, like, comment, subscribe, and that's gonna wrap up today's videos. Hope you guys enjoyed it.